In 2012, I was a single mother. I gave permission for my DNA to be used in biomedical research for $200 in grocery store gift cards. I signed a consent form, but I now know that I had no idea what I was doing. Let's talk about genetic discrimination and privacy.
Privacy, the right to control your own body, your own living space, free from unreasonable search and seizure, the right to control your own identity, to be known by a name and not a number, the right to control information about yourself, to prevent disclosure of private facts, to know which information is kept on you and how it is used. Robert Ellis Smith, expert witness in privacy legal cases.
The DNA Identification Act of 1994 approved the installation of a national listing of DNA identification records from convicted criminals, DNA analysis from recovered unknown human remains, and DNA analysis from samples found in crime scenes. This act also provided standards for laboratories that contribute to the national index system. It established criminal penalties for people who intentionally violate the standards and privacy protection, resulting in access to the national index system being withdrawn. The Justice for All Act of 2004, which added changes to the 1994 Act, included expansion of offenses in the database, including federal and military offenders, and increased criminal penalties for unauthorized use of the National DNA Index System, a newly indicted persons index, being able to choose from newly indicted criminals. And now to Kevin about the GINA law.
GINA, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act of 2008, was enacted to protect our personal health information, including our genetic and DNA info. But does it really do that? I want you to listen closely. Consider the case of Mark Poole, a 50-year-old who was employed by the Peterbilt Trucking Company in Virginia starting in 2005. Peterbilt was provided health insurance coverage for Poole and his family. In December of 2009, Peterbilt was bought by new owners. A month later, in January of 2010, Peterbilt's office manager asked Poole to complete a health questionnaire regarding his family's general medical conditions and medications. Poole did, and disclosed that his wife had multiple sclerosis. On January 26th of 2010, Peterbilt's office manager asked Poole when his wife had been diagnosed with MS, and even inquired about her prognosis.
Then what happened, Kevin?
Well, no help. 3 days later, Poole was fired for no explanation. Before that, he had no complaints about his work performance. In fact, he'd been told by the new owners that he was doing an outstanding job. He was eventually replaced by a much younger individual with less experience. Age discrimination?
Sounds like it.
Genetic discrimination?
Sounds like that too.
Does Mark Poole have a legitimate claim against Peterbilt under GINA? Think about that for a second. This could be you, Noel, or you, Chloe, or anyone. A federal court in Virginia said no matter how suspicious the facts seem, and no matter how clear the link appears between Peterbilt's discovery of Poole's wife's information and their decision to fire him, the court said Poole's wife's information had no real bearing on his own genetic predispositions, and therefore he had no claim. Laws like GINA are meant to protect us against this kind of conduct, but they're not truly effective. Most recently, the Federal Equal Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, is leading an effort to further weaken GINA protections. New amendments proposed just this year would allow employers to buy and purchase our genetic information, as long as it was reasonable to protect the employee's health. Reasonable? Well, who determines what is reasonable? The insurance companies? Sound dangerous? Because it is. Where's that Big Brother government insurance camera? Is that it up there? Is that it coming down on me here? Ryan!
Kevin! Kevin? Oh, hello. My name's Devin. And in 2008, California passed a law titled SB 559, which expands the Non-Discrimination Act. This amendment to the law was basically saying that genetic discrimination is just as bad as racial or any other type of discrimination. For example, the company Fabrica had to settle a lawsuit with the EEOC, or commonly known as the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They had to settle for $50,000, all that moolah, because a seasonal worker was offered a permanent job for the company, and then she went in for a physical, and she was questioned on her family medical history. It turns out she had carpal tunnel syndrome that ran in her family, and they rescinded her offer as a full-time employee for the company. Do you even know what this means? It means she can't work with that fabric. This violates the law. Now I know what you're thinking.
Devin, what am I thinking?
What the hell does this have to do with me?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, actually, I'm going to tell you something. It actually started back in September of 2014. Or at least they think, because UCLA didn't find out that all of their medical records were being hacked until May of 2015. These hackers collected info on around 4.5 million people's social security numbers, Medicaid information, and anything related to treatments they had dated back to the 90s.
But wait, you didn't answer my question.
Oh, well, Ryan, fellow classmates, people watching this on the internet at 4 a.m., a woman willingly gave out her information about her family's history and was denied a job. These hackers could have sent this information all over the world, all over the US. And it wouldn't be surprising if one of us couldn't get a job because they already know your genetic code. They know what's in your genes. And I'm not talking about your wallet and your phone. I'm talking about the one in your blood, your skin cells. And that just ain't right. Devin out.
So, this is where we come in.
Hi.
My name is Ryan Day, and this is my anger translator, Buttercup. And I'm here to share you a new product your lawyers don't want you to find out. You heard about that lady who got denied a job because carpal tunnel syndrome ran in her family?
Yeah, I heard it from that cute kid, Devin.
Won't happen here in California. Thanks to our Senator Alex Padilla, this new law will protect our genetic information through right of privacy.
That's my Senator Alex Padilla.
Through the Genetic Information Privacy Act, patients are now required to give consent before their genetic information is shared among scientists. Now you may ask, how will this bill protect my rights?
Ryan, how will this bill protect my rights?
Well, let me tell you. This bill here will implement itself into Section 1 of California's Constitution, which already protects your privacy. The only difference is we are expanding the definition of what privacy means. And with this new law, new criminal penalties will be created for those who break it.
You telling me people breaking laws and getting punished? For how long, Ryan?
Anyone sharing any of your information without your consent will be slapped with a $1,000 to $10,000 fine depending on the severity of the crime. Are those pesky employers keeping you out of a job because of your family's genetic diseases?
Yeah, man. I got diabetes.
Have you been denied insurance because of a pre-existing condition you never knew you had?
Yeah, I just found out I got minor scoliosis.
Well, here in California, you can wash your worries away because we're here to protect what's rightfully yours.
Thank you, Ryan.
That's it.
I sold my genetic information.
We didn't.
Stay safe. Keep it private.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Genetic out.